Fashion Nova is the epitome of fast fashion. If you're not familiar with the term, that basically means mass-produced clothes ready to be bought at very cheap prices, only to be replaced a few weeks later, so you don't exactly think high quality or good ethics when you think about the company. In the past, it's been revealed that they pay their workers criminally low wages, so it's really no surprise that Fashion Nova has a habit of ripping off designs from independent Black fashion labels. In this video, we're going to take a look at Fashion Nova's shady history of stealing designs from Black designers. I'll be sharing 6 Black designers who were at the receiving end of Fashion Nova's shady antics, starting off in the summer of 2018 with Jay Nice. Jay is a designer, influencer, and owner of the online boutique called Kloset Envy. She also has a huge following on Instagram and let them all know about what Fashion Nova was up to. She accused Fashion Nova of buying one of her hoodies, stealing the design, then sending it back for a refund. She had receipts, literally, to back it up, which she also posted. The return label shows that the item, a black Nadia hoodie, was returned courtesy of Fashion Nova Returns. There's no doubt that there's huge similarities between Jay's design and the alleged knockoff. To add insult to injury, the designer claimed that the fashion giant stole one of her models as well. After another understandably angry post from Jay, she was then blocked by Fashion Nova, but this wouldn't be the end of those allegations and a growing trend for the company of ripping off Black designers. In August of the same year, designer Destiney Bleu accused Fashion Nova of imitating one of her designs that Kylie Jenner had worn in an Instagram post. Destiny's crystal designs have been seen on stars like Beyonce in her Find Your Way Back video and put her in the spotlight. The crystal-encrusted midnight sky tights seen on Kylie proved to be very popular with customers of the Fashion Nova website, probably because they had seen Kylie wearing them, but they hadn't because they had seen the original version that Blue was selling at $75. Destiney claimed that because of Fashion Nova's opportunistic move, she lost more than $100K in potential revenue. Cause let's be honest, Fashion Nova is a giant company with more than enough resources to not only recreate items in a ridiculously short time period, but they also have access to materials to make things way cheaper than the original designer. But the average independent designer doesn't have the resources at their fingertips to mass produce at that scale. They tend to do things either custom or buy fabric with low minimums, produce at a smaller scale, which all justify a higher price point because they have to make a profit. But that's all for another video on another day. The point is that this wasn't Fashion Nova's item to be selling. Destiney Bleu should have been the one to capitalize off of the publicity of Kylie Jenner wearing her designs. Instead, a huge fashion company jumped on the bandwagon and stole her profits. Destiney is a dancer turned entrepreneur with a clothing brand that produces outfits handmade and inspired by the dance community for the dance community. In contrast, Fashion Nova just saw a quick buck and decided to make it. And they weren't done yet. In January 2019, Luci Wilden became the next unsuspecting victim of Fashion Nova's shenanigans. Luci Wilden is the designer behind the custom crochet brand Knots and Vibes. Her designs are all 100% cotton yarn, all made to order, and are inspired by the Caribbean community. She was horrified to find out that an almost identical copy of her skin-out dress was on the Fashion Nova website, and she had no idea how long it had been up there for. All she knew was that considering she had developed her design in 2017, it was definitely a knockoff. She emailed the company with details of her original design and how horrified she was that her designs had been stolen. Her email reads, "Dear Fashion Nova, it has come to my attention that the company has made a direct copy of one of my dress designs that I released in 2017 and still make today on a made-to-order basis. I first designed and released the green version of this dress in 2016. The black, red, yellow, green colorway came later in 2017. Here are several photos on my Instagram page dated back to 2017 that show the dress design. As you can see, this is a direct copy. The design team or whoever has clearly given an image of my dress to the factory or wherever and told them to make it. It is the same down to the details of the edging of the cups and down to the number of crocheted rows that make up each colored stripe. I am so utterly outraged and disgusted that Fashion Nova does this to small independent brands. If you like somebody's work, you collaborate with them or offer them a deal to use their design, not blatant theft. I have put so much time, hard work, and creativity into my brand, and for it to be stolen by such a huge retailer is truly saddening. The response she got was just an excuse that said Fashion Nova's wholesalers may have been the one to imitate the design, but it had nothing to do with them. This is in contrast to their usual stance when they work with celebrities like Cardi B, and they're more than happy to associate themselves with third parties then for that kind of publicity. Luci was directed to the Fashion Nova PR team for future emails, so basically they brushed her off. She contacted them and got no response. No surprises there. Not too long after that, in March of 2019, Brianna Wilson, founder of Matte Brand, had her turn calling out Fashion Nova. Matte Brand is most well known as the brand responsible for the neon catsuits we saw a lot of in the summer of 2018. Tiana Taylor, Amber Rose, Drea Michelle were all seen rocking Matte Brand, as well as many other top influencers. So surprise, surprise, the Instagram fashion giants wanted their piece of the pie. First it was the other big fast fashion retailer, Pretty Little Thing, then it was Fashion Nova. When Brianna spoke about the imitations, she wasn't surprised, but more so annoyed at the shoddy craftsmanship. Her sporty blue pant set had been imitated before, but at least Fashion Nova changed something this time. The pants had a drawstring and the neck clasp a zipper, making the whole design look considerably cheap and tackier. This was the main reason why Brianna took issue. It's one thing copying a design, it's another thing to copy a design and make it worse. She summarized the whole thing by saying, "I feel like I'm paying their bills. I'm the one with the ideas. I'm keeping their brand going." Going into 2020, Fashion Nova was showing no signs of letting up. Irregular Exposure was the next victim of having their design stolen. The LA-based fashion house is a women's ready-to-wear luxury brand. Each design is handcrafted in their own design factory. They have a skilled team that crafts each item from scratch, just like pretty much all the labels that we've already seen. This couldn't be further from the way that Fashion Nova makes their clothes. In February 2020, Anthony Wade, attorney for Irregular Exposure, made a similar claim to all of the other ones we've been through, that they were robbing their designs. In a tweet, Wade wrote, "I am the legal counsel for the Irregular Exposure clothing brand. My client is the original designer of the Kivy rugged set in which Fashion Nova has duplicated and sold at a lower rate. They're literally stealing money from my client." He goes on to say that this isn't the first time that they had done this, referencing Fashion Nova stealing from various other small brands, emphasizing just how often they do these things. The problem is that it's a really hard thing to prosecute, and it's really difficult to patent a clothing design, even though smaller designers across the country are being robbed by a massive company. The most recent offense was with rapper Thee Stallion, who denies a claim that she stole a design for her Fashion Nova collaboration. A designer by the name of Ozia, responsible for the label TLZ L'Femme, accused the rapper of plagiarizing one of her dress designs following the release of her debut collection with the fast fashion brand. On her website, Ozia claims that TLZ is more than clothing, but love and power from one woman to the next. This might explain why she was so annoyed when she saw her dress on the Fashion Nova website titled "Chase the Bag Shoulder Pad Mini Dress" under Megan's collection. In an interview, Megan denies the claims and said that she would have taken down the dress and compensated Ozia if she thought it was stolen. In response, the independent designer said that she found the interview condescending, hypocritical, and disrespectful.
Yo, I just seen this interview with Megan in the morning show, and I'm vexed because it's condescending, it's disrespectful, it's hypocritical. Everything that she said was addressed towards me, although we were talking about multiple Insta boutiques. Why was it all towards me? And my dress is from the 90s. And she also said, in her opinion, It's not stolen. That's what she said in the video. But she would have gave me money if I would have just came at her right. Excuse me? I'm confused. Came at you right? What about when I should have been came at right to use my things, and now we're trying to run with this, oh, well, it's from the 90s. It's just recycled dress. But what about the text messages from your team? Multiple text messages. Not to mention the day after I put this video out. Yeah, the day I made the post about the shit. Your team reached out to me again via text and email. I'll post it on my story. With asking for clothes for you for the AMAs, your stylist Brooklyn Styles. But nobody knows about me. Nobody knows about my shit. I'm just a woo woo woo. Stop playing. We know what time it is. Don't sit in that interview and act like you don't know what's up and discredit me and condescend me. Because if it really was about a sisterhood and about protecting black women, there's a way you could have gone about that interview and uplifted not only me, but every other black woman shit that came up in that motherfucking collection. It's simple. Yo, these designs came up. They are very similar to what we had. I had no idea. Let's just say you had no idea. I had no idea. So I wanted to give a shout out. We took those designs down. These are some brands that are amazing. Let's shop with them. And leave it as that. That's how you fix some shit like that. That's how you come at somebody whose stuff was stolen. I don't need to come at nobody like nothing. I'm coming at exactly the way I'm gonna come at. And that's it. Disrespectful. That was the opportunity. But for me, all I saw was more disrespect. So I guess we know what time it is. I guess.
Mind you, Ozia gave us receipts showing that she had been in communication with Megan's stylist about pulling said dress for her to wear prior to the collection coming out. When stylists bring their client racks of clothes for a fitting or for a photo shoot, there's no guarantee that the client sees every single piece. That would just take too long. But in this case, it's very likely that Megan saw this one on the rack, considering it's an exact carbon copy of Ozia's design. I mean, there's really no way that this is just a coincidence. The evidence is all there, with text messages and all. You can see the requests Megan's stylist sent asking to borrow the dress for said event. So it's clear as day that Fashion Nova has a history of stealing from talented, independent black designers. On paper, their business model is foolproof. Steal from someone talented, produce and sell the clothes cheap in bulk, and don't credit the original artist. Sometimes even piggyback off a celebrity who has worn the original design and copy what they were wearing to steal any potential profits. The only way to stop this cycle is by supporting the original designers and stop buying from places like Fashion Nova. Designers like Sal Duval, Hanifa, and Risque Dukes are several other designers that Fashion Nova has blatantly stolen from, and the examples I've shared today probably won't be the last we see of this, unfortunately. Fast fashion sites like this have been doing it for years, and there's so many other examples of them stealing from other small black labels. All in all, you have the power to vote with your wallets. Remember to support the brands that have the talent in the first place. So tell me what you think about this video down below. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video.